In a world full of expensive off-road SUVs that cost $60,000, $70,000, and $80,000, something like the Bronco Raptor is extremely capable, extraordinarily well-engineered and overbuilt. But it almost seems too expensive. It almost seems out of the realm of capability for somebody normal, somebody who wants to just enjoy a good SUV. Something like the Ford Bronco and Toyota 4Runners start at above $40,000, making it almost too expensive for your regular average Joe. But recently I've had the opportunity to take this vehicle off-road and experiment with not only how capable it is, but also how fun it is off-road. And I'm excited to present to you this vehicle because it really is the diamond in the rough of modern off-road SUVs. Behind me, the vehicle in question and the video star of today is the Bronco Sport Badlands. So this is the Bronco Sport, and when it first came out, a lot of people accused this vehicle of not being a true Bronco because it's based on the unibody chassis of the Ford Escape. And because of that, people assumed that it didn't have any off-road prowess or any off-road capability, and they really discredited it. But I can tell you from personal experience with this exact Bronco Sport that this thing is extraordinarily off-road capable, and not just capable, but fun too. But this video and this vehicle specifically isn't about all capability and all fun, because this vehicle is also practical. See, this is the cheapest 4x4 in America. Every single one of these comes with 4x4, or more specifically, when you talk about the mechanics of it, all-wheel drive. See, this one is one of the most off-road capable, in fact, it is the most off-road capable that we currently have available, and it comes with a twin-clutch rear differential and a 4x4 lock and trail control and a ton of other off-road features to allow this to be as capable as it possibly can be. But they're not all this capable. But that's not really the point of this car. You see, this car's main purpose isn't to go off-road. This car's main purpose is to get you around, to be reliable, to be affordable, and to haul people and stuff exactly where you need it to go and do it in an efficient manner. And that is what's important about the Bronco Sport. Let's get right into it. So the Bronco Sport, we're going to start out right up here with the front end styling because this Bronco Sport is a great looking vehicle. And on top of that, they've used a lot of great heritage touches to remind you that this is related to its bigger brother, the full-size Bronco. We have, for example, the big white letter badging of the Bronco logo here. We also have a 360 cam right here. And you notice the grille intakes, while it's actually a large grille, it doesn't seem that large. It almost seems like there isn't a grille when you look at it from an outside perspective. And this one, being the Badlands, does have a different front fascia. You notice the front bumper is a lot higher. Not necessarily for aerodynamics, but it is for ground clearance. And you notice we have these nice big tow hooks. Not all the Bronco Sports come with them, but when you get one of the off-road ones like the Black Diamond or this Badlands, you actually get tow hooks. And you notice the lovely LED headlights. These are actually standard, so no matter what trim level you get, you're going to get this really cool styling with the little circle LED. There is a projector LED in there, and then an incandescent turn signal as well. And this color is the cactus gray color, and it looks really, really great. It's a gray, but it's almost like a bluish green color depending on the lighting. And I think overall, it looks really, really good. Let's go around the side and talk about the wheels and tires that are different on this Badlands. So talking about the wheels and tires on this Bronco Sport, keep in mind this is the Badlands, so it's got a little bit more off-road prowess than most other trim levels, but here we have these really cool dish-style steel wheels, and they're kind of interesting because they're more of a heritage style. In fact, they're the same style we get on the Heritage Edition, it's just that they're not painted the gloss white that we get on the Heritage Edition. Now, when you look at the tires here, these are our Falcon Wild Peak AT3W tires, and they're quite aggressive. They have a really meaty tread, and they're actually a high-quality tire. I think you definitely are going to get a lot of life out of these. The only thing that's a little bit different is that they're quite small. They're 135 millimeters by 65 millimeters, and the rim is a 17-inch rim. Now, I have seen some leveling kits and lift kits that you can put on a Bronco Sport that really do magnify what the vehicle looks like, but then it also allows you to fit a little bit bigger tire. Now, granted, you're never going to fit a 33 or a 35 or anything crazy like that on a Bronco Sport without major suspension modifications, but I think overall that these are a really decent size and they're very, very capable off-road. So the real question is, what does the Bronco Sport compete with? Because in this whole video so far, I've been making it sound like this is the only vehicle doing this specific thing. And while it's unique inside of the category, there are competitors. Now, first of all, I want to mention the TRD off-road Toyota RAV4, because that vehicle is a unibody off-road SUV just like this one is. And some other contenders inside the space are going to be vehicles like the Subaru Wilderness Edition from both the Forester and the Crosstrek. Now, the Crosstrek is a little bit smaller and the Forester is a little bit bigger, and the Outback is definitely bigger, but I'd say that this vehicle slots right in between as far as the sizing. Now, all of those vehicles are decent competitors, but none of them are a Ford, and the reason that that's important is because Ford is one of the brands that has dealerships all over this country, and they have a really decent warranty, meaning if anything happens with the vehicle, vehicle they're going to cover it. For example, a buddy of mine living up in northern Michigan might look at getting a Ford Bronco over a Subaru Crosstrek because he knows that he can get warranty work done at a local dealership rather than having to travel potential hours to go to a Subaru dealership. And that's where this vehicle has a major benefit. But not only that, the Subaru X-Drive has a CVT transmission, which makes it slightly less capable off-road, meaning that when you put high torque through that transmission, you could deal with overheating issues, preliminary loss issues as far as like the reliability of it. This has a regular 8-speed torque converted automatic, which means this is going to be a lot more reliable than most of the other competitors. But let's go behind the vehicle and talk about the utility of it next. So here we are at the back of the Bronco Sport, and now I want to talk about utility because back here we have a trailer hitch, which this one is capable of towing up to 2,000 pounds. If you get the smaller motor, it drops down to 1,500, but either way, I think for a lot of people, especially with this size vehicle, that is going to be a perfect amount of towing and hauling capability. Now, when you look at the back, you can see the styling actually looks really good. This thing is quite squared off. It has these really great looking taillights. You have this really cool kind of hatch that doesn't have a spoiler. A lot of modern SUVs will have a spoiler, but my favorite feature that I've mentioned in a lot of vehicles before is the opening glass. It opens up completely separately from the thing, so if you have this all loaded up with stuff, you can reach in quickly and grab something or quickly throw something in. But it just is a unique feature that not a lot of manufacturers are doing, and I love that Ford has done it here on the Bronco Sport. Now, when you talk about logos, this is actually one of the few Ford logos on the entire vehicle. Most of the logos are a Bronco logo instead. And there actually is a cool Easter egg on the bumper right here that says Bronco ever since 1966. However, it is behind the license plate, so you'll probably never see it on a day-to-day use case, just on the dealership lot. Most of the time, even at our dealership, we do a Terrebonne Ford logo over that. Now, you do see some ultrasonic parking sensors because this does beep at you when you back up, which is a great feature, and it does have automatic emergency braking. And when we open up this hatch, it is a manual hatch. We don't have any power ones available. Sorry, I slipped. It's wet out here. But in here, we do have some LED lights up here on the door that do this cool pivot feature, so you can push the button inside and turn those lights on, but then you can pivot the light directly to where you need it, which is nice. And then back here, there's this really cool shelf system that they offer here on the Badlands and a few other trim levels. It's kind of inconsistent as far as what ones come with this. I've had somebody ask me, hey, what trim levels does it come with? And quite honestly, I don't really know, not because that I'm a terrible salesperson, but just because Ford hasn't disclosed inside of our internal stuff, really, which ones come with it and which ones don't. So far, I've seen it on the Heritage Edition Broncos. I've seen it on the Badlands ones. It seems to be like when you get those dish wheels in the Falcon Wild Peaks, you also get this table. Now, what's neat about this table is you've got the little legs that pop out. There's even a measuring tape on here, and it has these sliding lockdown points where you lock it down. And from here, you can basically do like a whole overlanding picnic adventure and really set it up just where you want it, exactly how you want it. And you can also use this as a shelf system when it's in the vehicle, and so you can store stuff underneath and on top. Now, one of my favorite features about the Bronco Sport is that all of them are going to have these really cool grocery bag hooks on the side with a little lasso icon, just a really neat little Easter egg that they've done for the Bronco. This Badlands specifically has a 400-watt house plug back here, which is really nice to have, very useful, and then a 12-volt as well. And what I wanted to show you was when you move this shelf out of the way and you lift up the floor, all of the Bronco Sports, including this Badlands here, have a full-size spare tire with an extra rim. So you don't have to worry about getting a flat tire and having a fix-a-flat kit or having to deal with any of that, because this vehicle is already prepped to deal with all of those situations for you. Next, let's go into the rear seats and see exactly how comfortable this is. So here we are in the back seats of the Bronco Sport, and I'll be honest, these seats are all the way back for large people, but I'm still fairly comfortable. Now, yes, my knees are touching. If I was over 6 feet, I'd probably complain, but like I said, this seat can definitely move forward, can go more erect. Now, back here, talking about the comfort level, these leather seats are actually very, very nice. We've got a two-tone brown and black going on with multiple different materials. And as far as amenities go, we've got a nice soft place to rest our elbow. We've got these really cool zipper pockets on the back of the front seats that have this super cool kind of Bronco logo on the inside, along with the carabiners down here for accessories. And there's two air vents back here with a USB-C and a USB-A, as well as a 400-watt house plug. So as far as power goes and connectivity goes, we've definitely got a lot. But there's also a flip-down armrest to reveal two cup holders that's nice and soft and cushy for sitting here on a long road trip. And these seats do fold flat if you needed to put large utility items back here. One of the things I did want to note is that even though this doesn't have a full panoramic roof, for the price point, it does come with a nice big front sunroof with a power shade, so you can really dial in exactly how much light is in here, as well as how open it feels. And the roof, you notice there's actually some stadium seating. These front seats are higher, or these rear seats are higher than the front seats, which means you sit above, which means even though you're back here, you can still see everything. And the roof actually has this really cool upward indentation. That way it feels like a lot bigger space. So overall, I'd say the back seats are super comfortable. There are a lot of connectivity and comfort features. Just a little bit more room would be nice. Let's go head up to the front seats and talk about how comfortable they are next. So here we are in the front seats of the Bronco Sport, and this is an actually very comfortable interior, especially up here in the front seats. There's a ton of room, both sideways, for my legs, for my head. No problems at all. And this seat and steering wheel combo are very adjustable. The steering wheel both telescopes and tilts up and down. Interestingly enough, we actually have paddle shifters in here, which is something that's a little bit annoying because when you go to the Maverick, which is a very similar vehicle, both in interior design and from actual structure, you can't get paddle shifters, but I love that they put it here in the Bronco Sport. Now, as far as things go, over here on the left, we've got a button to pop the rear trunk. We've also got our lights on the exterior. We've also got our interior lighting controls. And then over on the door panel, we've got a three-way memory seat for these leather heated seats. And then, of course, our lock, unlock, nice big door handle, this really cool kind of bronze trimming all the way around. And then, of course, a nice soft touch stitched leather armrest. On the steering wheel here, it is a nice chunky leather wrapped steering wheel. It has this piano black and metallic finish down at the bottom with a Bronco logo right in the middle. Once again, like I mentioned on the outside, not very many Ford logos to be found in here. In the gauge clusters, we've got both a mixture of tactile and digital gauges. We've got a manual speedometer and tachometer to the left, along with a coolant and fuel gauge. But then in the center, you have a programmable electronic screen where you can go through all different modes and see all the different information you want. One of my favorite screens is the power distribution screen because you can see exactly where the all-wheel drive is shifting the power around. Now, these vents are very nice. They're kind of squared off and chunky, and they have this piano black trimming around. But you can spin them and close off the air vent or spin it the other way and open it up, and you can dial these in exactly where you want. In the middle, this is our 8-inch infotainment, and this actually is a little bit of a complaint that I have because there is a newer infotainment that's available in vehicles like the F-150 that has cloud-based navigation. Now, this does not have it. This is the older sync-style system. It still has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and satellite radio and most of the modern-day conveniences people come to expect. It does, of course, have the Ford Pass app where you can lock, unlock, start, get vehicle service reminders, and of course read codes all through the Ford Pass app, which is completely free for right now, which is awesome. And this vehicle also is equipped with the upgraded B&O sound system. So as much as I complain about it not being the newest software, it still does absolutely everything you would expect it to do. There are a nice row of home buttons here, which make it nice and easy to use, especially for people who aren't super familiar. There's a button for your auto start stop, of course a volume and a tuning knob. There's your hazards right in the middle, a little camera button that you can press to pull up the front and rear camera whenever you'd like, a quick mute button, a track backwards, a play pause, a track forward, and then of course a quick button to turn off the screen. So if you're driving on a long road trip at night and you don't want that light blasting you in the face, you can turn it right off. And underneath we have this interesting little storage area. We could throw a phone, a wallet, a purse, something like that. And then of course the start button. Down here we've got our dual zone automatic climate. This thing is standard with automatic climate, although in the lower trim levels it's a single zone. This one does have 3-stage heated seats as well as a heated steering wheel, which is something that's been going away in recent years, so I like to see that Ford has included it on this one. And down here we have a wireless charger with a USB-C, a USB-A, a 12-volt, another little storage area. And quick note, this Badlands here at $46,000 does have a vinyl floor, which I really, really like. It makes it a lot easier to clean out. You don't have to worry about getting the carpet dirty or anything like that. And we have the shifter here for the 8-speed automatic. Very easy to use. There is a manual mode. You just push the center button. And of course, we do have an electronic parking brake as well as auto brake hold. Ford has a great auto brake hold system. I absolutely love it. It never really turns off. Once you turn it on, it stays on. And then here we have our really interesting GOAT modes dial. And this one, because of it being the Badlands, has some added buttons. You don't get all of these buttons on all the trim levels, but this one here, you've got GOAT modes, which there are a ton of different ones. You have normal, you have eco, you have sport, you also have slippery, which is going to be for like icy, rainy conditions, mud and ruts, which pulls up the camera for the forward, sand also does the camera for forward, and then a rock crawl mode, which really locks everything in, turns off traction control, allows you to really get off-road. Now, down here we have a 4-wheel drive lock button, which we can push at any time, as well as a rear locker button. Now, this isn't a true mechanical rear locker. It's a twin diff or twin clutch rear diff, which means basically it'll close most of the clutches out. There is still a possibility of it slipping because it's not a true gear on gear, but it's still going to do a very, very good job at that. Now, one of the great features this vehicle has is Ford's trail control, and it works very similarly to Toyota's crawl control, except it uses the electronic ABS module as opposed to the old school hydraulics. So like when you're in a Toyota and you're using crawl control, you can hear the brakes grabbing and it's really loud and clunky, and if you've never used it before, it can be quite intimidating. Now, this system here is all electronic based, which means it doesn't have all those scary noises, but it will get you either unstuck or through a difficult obstacle that you're not sure about. And you can program that as low as half a mile an hour all the way up to 20 miles an hour. And of course, with the assistance of the cameras and maybe even a spotter, this thing is extraordinarily capable, especially for a small unibody SUV. Let's go underneath the hood and talk about the powertrain next. So here we are underneath the hood of the Bronco Sport, and this is our 2-liter. This is the upgraded motor. There's also a 1.5-liter, but both of them are going to be turbocharged motors. The 1.5 is a 3-cylinder. This here is a 4-cylinder. This one is the more powerful option. It makes 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque, and it is a very powerful, very reliable motor that's been out for a very long time. And as far as maintenance items go, it's a very easy motor to maintenance because you've got coolant, oil, your battery, your fuse box, your brake fluid, and an air box right here, which means there's really not a whole lot to do. You don't have any power steering to worry about. You don't have any other fluids to worry about. And so it's just a very simple, reliable powertrain that's been out for quite a while and makes very, very adequate power. I think for a lot of people, this will be more than enough. And then even with the 1.5, that one's actually going to get you a lot better fuel economy because of it being 3 cylinders. That one can get above 30 miles to the gallon, and both of them are paired with a regular torque-converted 8-speed automatic, one of my favorite transmissions in the business. That's everything for the powertrain. What do you guys think down in the comments? Would you get the 1.5 or would you get the 2-liter? Let me know. So what do you guys think about the Bronco Sport? Is it the funnest off-road SUV? It is definitely the cheapest 4x4 you can get, being at a starting price of around $30,000. And like I said, it comes with that 1.5-liter EcoBoost and 4-wheel drive. I'd like to see what you guys think about this vehicle. Of course, you haven't had the opportunity to off-road it, but hopefully one day you will. If you have the chance to test drive one of these, definitely go check it out at your local dealership. And if you're interested in a vehicle like this one, along with a bunch of others, is for sale here at Terrebonne Ford. Feel free to go check out my information down in the description. And if you want to order your own 2024 one, go check that out as well. Now, if you're enjoying this video and of course the channel, make sure to like and subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit the notifications bell so that you get notified when I come out with new videos, because I am planning on ramping up production, bringing you guys higher quality content, and of course, eventually going to car shows and showing off brand new products the day they come out, which is what I'm most excited for. So thank you guys for watching and have an amazing day. If you stayed this long, you know exactly what time it is. It is late video lighting nerds time. So let's get right into it. All right, late video lighting nerds, let's check out these headlights and taillights on the Bronco Sport. All right, hit our ignition, got that cool little, oh, I love the animations that they put in here. It's awesome. Oh, so good. All right, headlights are on, fog lights are on. Let's go check them out. So here are your low beam high projector headlights, and then of course fog lights down below, looking very nice with that daytime running light. Let's turn on the high beams. Did we get high beams? Yep, we got high beams on now. And here are our high beams for all of you late video lighting nerds. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's go check out the taillights real quick and see what those look like. Very nice LED taillights there. Looking very good. Thanks for watching, late video lighting nerds. You're the best, and huge thanks to our buddy Isaac for helping us out with this video. And wish him safe travels back to Michigan. Have a great day.